Welcome, my friends, to the Far Post Podcast. This is 2 weeks in a row that we're bringing you a Far Post Podcast. I know we've been a little bit sporadic in when we've been able to bring you shows, but we're working around a really busy game schedule. But that means that the more games there are, the fewer shows there are, which is a good thing because everybody loves games. So as the games start to ramp up over the course of the next few weeks, we probably won't have as many Far Post podcasts. But again, that means we've got games on the horizon. What we have for you today is a Far Post podcast. I'm Jeff Lemieux, joined by my co-host, Elizabeth Pehota. Elizabeth, I got to start by asking how you're feeling because, athlete, you completed your first Boston Marathon on Saturday morning. So how have you recovered over the course of the past few days?
I'm good. I definitely have rode an emotional high since finishing, just feeling pretty proud and accomplished given the circumstances of this year and overcoming adversity. But physically, stairs are really tough right now, so I try to avoid the stairs as much as possible. My legs feel pretty good. My ankle hurts a little bit, but still just really happy. So thanks for asking, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know fans have been following your journey. Listeners of the Far Post podcast have been following your journey to run the Boston Marathon over the course of the past, 10 months? You ended up running it in 3 hours, 36 minutes, which was well ahead of your goal time.
I didn't know I could
very
run
impressive.
That.
We applaud you. And I know you'd mentioned before that your ankle was hurting you and that you were walking downstairs backwards. But I don't think I quite believed you until yesterday. I watched you walk down 5 flights of stairs backwards. That's a real thing. You're actually going backwards down the stairs.
For some reason, it hurts less when I go down backwards. I think it's just the motion of it. I can go up and then I go down backwards. So just trying to avoid stairs and hills right now. But other than that, feeling good.
All right. Well, we'll make sure that there's no stairs on today's Far Post podcast.
Thank you. That's very thoughtful.
We do, however, have a special guest. Hopefully that's not too much for your ankle because we're going to bring in for today's show Mr. Andrew Farrell. Andrew, welcome to the Far Post podcast. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Yeah, congrats, Elizabeth, on that, by the way. But yeah, Andrew. I'm happy to be here.
Would you ever run a marathon?
Nope. No, thank you.
Not even. What's the farthest you've ever run continuously in one clip, you think?
I don't know. Probably. I did a 5K? Like, is it turkey trots? People do like this.
Yeah, those are like the 3 mile 5K turkey trots.
Yeah, I did that. And I did that this past off season.
Oh, that's fun.
With my friend, and yeah, it was tough. Like, it was just, like, during the off season, it's just a little bit, a couple weeks before or off, and then it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. So just think, like, after that turkey trot, if you would just run like 23 more miles, you'd run a marathon.
Exactly. I was done after. I was done after.
I remember after like mile 6 when I was running, I was thinking to myself, I have 20 more of these.
Oh.
Just crazy.
Gosh. No.
Andrew, how far do you think you run in a game?
Probably like 9K. Probably. I think it's 9. The top guys get like 10. Sometimes get 11K, maybe 12.
Okay. Wow.
Some guys do, but yeah, I think 9.5. I'd say.
All right, that's a lot.
Center backs run a little bit less than like other positions, but yeah.
Yeah, I know originally Chris Tierney was also supposed to be running the Boston Marathon this year. He didn't end up running it virtually, but he mentioned last week that at one point he had run a half marathon at a 6:30 pace, like 6 minute, 30-second miles for a half marathon, which doesn't even make sense to me at all, but I guess that's Chris Tierney.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Andrew, you have run many marathons over and over and over again throughout the course of your New England Revolution career, which now spans more than 20,000 minutes. You hit that barrier this past weekend at the Philadelphia Union, and that's only including your regular season minutes, actually. Right. You throw in playoff matches and Open Cup matches, you're well over the 20,000 minute barrier. Yeah. And I know you found out about that milestone via tweet leading into the match. So what was your reaction when you saw that number, 20,000 minutes?
Like, dang, if I could get $1 for every, no, I was like, dang, that's a lot of minutes. But I guess I realized I've been here for a while, so I guess it made sense. But just a lot of time on the field, a lot of time on the field with my friends. So it was it's awesome to be able to reach that milestone. I don't know if I thought I'd play that long or for that many minutes, but I've always been super thankful for first Jay Heaps for bringing me in, and Mike Burns and then every coach since been giving me a chance. Every time I'm getting a new clean slate of getting a chance to play and compete, and all my teammates making me better, my family and friends for supporting me. And you guys for making me look good all the time, and so it's not just me, but it's also our training staff keeping me healthy because I have to be healthy to be able to play. But it's just a lot. It takes a village, is the saying, right? So there's a lot of people that definitely helped me to get to that milestone.
Yeah, man, you're only 28. You got a long way to go. You're a youngin' in terms of professional soccer.
I hope so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is. I did the math. I obviously needed several calculators to get the math done.
Of course.
But it equates to a little more than 333 hours. This is, again, just the regular season minutes, or just shy of 14 days.
Oh, just straight.
Now, you know how long 14 days is. That's a fortnight.
Yeah. Look at you.
I don't know. I just really like the term fortnight.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's crazier that you've been on the field for all those minutes or that I have watched every single one of those minutes.
I know.
Because what's really weird is, as someone who was there the day you were drafted in January 2013, like you still, to me, still feel like a rookie, but you played 20,000 minutes.
I know. Yeah. It's still the same joy. Waking up and just being able to go out there and train, especially now it's getting like the crisp in the air. It's a little fall. It's nice with the trees surrounding the new facility. Ooh, it's just nice. It's still the same feeling of getting back out there and training, and I enjoy it still. So that's good.
Andrew, if you were to talk to yourself in 2013, right after you were drafted, now knowing that you played 20,000 minutes, what advice would you give yourself?
What advice? I'd probably I'd be like, you just make sure you listen to the veterans even more than, I always did, but like listen to them, take their advice, learn as much as possible. Work on your left foot, score goals. I don't know. Just a lot of different things. I'd say just, and keep enjoying it, but I've been enjoying it. So I don't know what more I'd say. Just listen to the older guys. They've been through it. Because I know I tell the young guys, and I don't know if they listen to me or not, but I'd be like, yeah, listen to those guys. They know a thing or two about what can, make your career last longer. And,
I mentioned you're only 28, but in terms of all-time minutes played for the New England Revolution, you are fourth all-time. You go down the list, and it's Shalry Joseph, Matt Reese, Jay Heaps, Andrew Farrell.
That's crazy.
So with that context, hearing those three names and knowing those are the top four players in terms of all-time minutes played in club history, what kind of emotions come along with that when you hear, you're kind of mentioned in that breath alongside Shalry Joseph, Matt Reese, Jay Heaps, Andrew Farrell. You're right there. Yeah,
those guys are, legends, club legends. Shalry, Matt, and Jay. Great people, great, amazing players, but some guys who I've played with, played for, and who've helped me. I think I've taken some things of their game and some things of what they've taught me, and I think they have helped me get to that level, or get to this point. And so, it's kind of crazy. Now it's like kind of, it hits you like, wow, that's a lot of minutes, and no, it feels good. I've always wanted to be, available, always be available to play, always be healthy, always be, have a chance to play, have a chance to help the team out. And what will make it even more special is to lift the trophy. So that needs to happen.
It's coming. That best memory in a Revolution jersey is yet to happen, because eventually, obviously, you will lift that MLS Cup trophy. So we're all eagerly anticipating that as well. I do want to go back to 2013 briefly and test some of your knowledge / memories a little bit, because we talked about this before. Like, you're not necessarily a guy who remembers every detail of all of the big moments, but this was an interesting little fact that I saw as I was looking at the 2013 super draft because you were the first overall pick that year.
Mm-hmm.
But of the top 4 picks in 2013, there's only 2 of you who are still playing in Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
So you were drafted first overall.
It was me.
Carlos Alvarez was drafted
Alvarez.
second overall.
Mm-hmm.
He's now playing in the
Becker.
USL Championship.
Was it Kyle Becker?
Kyle Becker was drafted third overall. Very good.
Was Toronto
FC.
have the 2 picks? Did Toronto have 4 too, or no?
No. So
They traded like 3 and
I wanted to see if you know who. So Kyle Becker was drafted third overall. He's playing in the Canadian Premier League.
Yeah.
The 4th overall pick that year is still playing in Major League Soccer.
Is he playing for KC? It's not Hurtado. No, it's not.
Hurtado was actually 5th overall.
Okay.
So you know a lot more about this than I thought you might. Hurtado was 5th overall. The 4th overall pick.
If you told me the team, I could tell you who got that.
He was picked by Vancouver.
Vancouver? Oh my gosh. Who is this?
Currently playing for the New England Revolution.
Wait.
It is a current teammate of yours. Was the 4th overall pick that year. Yeah. You want me to give it to you?
Wait, but was it like a trade for a pick or something like that? No.
He was drafted by Vancouver and played there. Has played for several other clubs. Currently plays for the New England Revolution.
Oh my, Kekuta Mane.
Kakuta Mane.
Nice.
Was the 4th overall pick. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, who was it? I was like, was it a Lee Win trade? Vancouver? That's what I was like thinking. Like,
Yeah.
Lee was like, oh my, I should know.
Yep.
Because he was a GA my year.
So the top 4 picks in 2013, only 2 still playing on MLS, and both for the New England Revolution.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
What are, as you look back, we mentioned that top moment, it's still coming.
Mhm.
But what are, as you look back over 20,000 minutes, what are kind of the moments that you pick out as saying like, okay, those are ones that will live with me forever that I'll take into my post-playing career?
I'd say obviously the first game at Chicago. I'd say probably obviously the 2014 like season, like all those playoff games, the Red Bull game away and at home. Another moment, Open Cup final and that kind of run in 2016. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure. What else? I mean, even like last year's run of 11 games unbeaten, that was pretty fun. And then our last, I don't know if this is big for a lot of people, but our last game against New York City FC at home last year, that has been one of my favorite games. Just great game, and then we clinched the playoffs first time in so long, and I thought the crowd was great, and that was a cool night. But yeah, and probably just my first goal, the game of my first goal against Montreal 3 years ago. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of them in between there. Every game it's always fun to just be available and be able to play. I mean, I love playing, and I love learning, and especially now in the Bruce, learning a lot, and he's very demanding, and the standards are super high, and so it's fun to be around the facility where the standard is really high and the demands are high.
Yeah, I was going to ask too about that debut. You clearly know who you played against. The debut was at Chicago in March 2013. Do you remember the score of that game and who
2-1.
scored?
Right, it was 2-1 or 2-0.
No.
1-0. Kellen Rowe scored.
No, he had the assist.
Jerry Benson
scored the goal of that game.
You won 1-0.
1-0.
Okay.
And
Kellen
I
have an assist? I feel like Kellen might have an assist.
Kellen came off the bench with the assist. Yep.
There you
It was
go.
Jerry Benson with the header. I actually have the starting 11 from that game.
I could probably give you the starting 11.
I wanted to see how many of your fellow starters you remember from your debut on March 9th, 2013 at the Chicago Fire.
Pressure's on.
Did we start? Am I restarted? I'm guessing.
At Reese.
It'd be me, AJ
Soares.
Soares. Would it be McCarthy? No.
Naka did not start that game, actually.
Was it Darius?
Darius didn't start either.
Okay, well, Tierney.
Tierney actually didn't start either.
Kevin Alston.
Kevin Alston
On the
started.
left. Who was the other center back? Okay, let me just come back to that. Then we had Jerry Benston. We probably had Lee Nguyen. Oh my lord.
Yeah, start getting some deep cuts now. You've got
Is
the big ones.
Was Khalifa Cisse there?
Khalifa Cisse started that match.
Okay. Dorms didn't start probably.
Dorman did not start.
No, Khalifa Cisse. Oh my gosh. Did Donnie Smith start that game?
Donnie Smith
Donnie
made his
Smith
debut
started
in that game. Yep.
Did Scotty start?
Scotty did not start. Scotty was on the bench that game.
Oh my gosh. Khalifa Cisse, Donnie Smith. I'm missing a center back though, because Khalifa didn't play center back.
It's a pretty obvious center back, actually.
Pretty obvious center back. Was Jose on our team that year?
Jose, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he came
his first game, yeah.
Okay, okay. So me.
You won Defender of the Year that year.
Yeah, right. Me, Matt Reese, me, AJ, Jose. Would Donnie play left back?
No, Alston did. Donnie played the midfield.
Donnie, Khalifa, Jerry was up top. Lee Nguyen.
So you're missing two guys, actually.
Steele wasn't there.
Two midfielders.
Was Steele there? No, Steele wasn't there that year. He came next year.
Yeah.
Two midfielders.
You've already gotten way more than I thought you were gonna get.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
Do pretty well.
Did Ryan Guy? No, not Ryan Guy.
Ryan Guy didn't start. No.
Who is it?
Clyde Sims.
Oh. And who else?
And legend Juan Toja.
Juan Toja. Oh,
what a player!
Wow.
Oh man. The funny thing is, until Lee came back last week, all 10 of the other starters in your debut were no longer on the Revolution. It's now Lee is back, so you've got one guy. But all of the other guys no longer with the Reds.
Wow.
So that was kind of funny as I looked through that lineup.
That is crazy.
But Khalifa Cisse was the one, because he was in New England so briefly. I didn't know if you were going to get Khalifa. So strong shout on Khalifa Cisse.
Yeah. Oh my.
Well, there's still a lot of minutes out there left this year. Still another 1,080 minutes on the board potentially with 12 games left in the regular season. So we've seen games get back to some sort of semblance of normalcy. There's still a lot that's not normal, obviously. But what's it been like just getting back into some sort of regular rhythm and training and playing games on a consistent basis? Because even when you guys were back training before the MLS Back tournament, and even when you're playing at the MLS Back tournament, everything's still totally different. What's it been like being at home, training at the training facility every day, preparing for games, and getting to just play matches consistently?
It's been good. Obviously, with so many games, it's like back to back. So like we have Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday coming up. So like this week is like kind of like been the first time we've had like a regular week of training where we can, we have whatever Sunday, Monday off or whatever it is. Then we Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we train, and then we get ready for the game. But it's been good to finally get like in the rhythm of playing games. But it's also tough when you have so many games coming up. So everybody's just got to be ready to contribute. A lot of minutes are there to be had. We got really deep at every position now with adding Lee, Matt, Kakuta, and Tommy, and getting guys back healthy. So for this game, we're looking really good and have a lot of options at all spots. But it's good and especially even with all the away games, they're even like shorter flights. So we leave in the morning, come back at night. So a lot of guys who work with their families don't, it's not a multiple day trip. So that's nice. And, but it's been good to finally play. It's still weird. It's still, for me, it's fine, but I think for some guys it's still weird not having fans, because it seems like maybe it could be like a practice game or whatnot. But with so many, not that many games left in the season, we got to kind of figure out that every single game is important. And so I think Bruce has really gotten us to kind of turn that around. And so, yeah, the next 3 games are going to be really important. And the next, 9 after that equals 12. Well, more. So yeah.
Yeah, I did want to follow up too about, you mentioned the fans. Obviously, that's the biggest change right now as you playing games, watch games, is the fact that there's no fans in the stands. But I know Bruce has said that it shouldn't make a difference because guys should be so locked in that they don't even notice there's no fans. But I know that can't necessarily be the case. Yeah. Like how much when you're on the field do you notice no fans in the stands? Is it like little moments here and there when you can pick out there are no fans in the stands? Like what's that that experience actually like on the field in an empty stadium?
You kind of notice like when if you like give a bad pass or something and you just hear Bruce yelling at you, because usually I couldn't probably hear him. They can hear him probably like you can hear each other like yell more and communicate, and it's kind of actually good because then we as a team need to communicate even more with each other, and so it's a good test so we can finally be able to talk to each other and communicate. And if you're not talking, then it's going to be really quiet out there. So it's made us, I think, even more of a better team, but because we have to communicate and we'll be able to hear each other and stuff like that. But yeah, you notice it sometimes, like when Teal scored the goal in Chicago, I was like, wait, dude, like sometimes in a way when you score, you like don't know if you counted offsides, what happens, because like there's no fans celebrating. But now it's like every goal, you're like, wait, did it go in? Like what happened? So that stuff, like little stuff like that, is like where I kind of notice it when like goals are scored. It's like, what happened? What happened?
Andrew, without fans actually at games, how strongly have you felt their presence on social media for you guys over the past few months?
Yeah, I mean, they've always been strong supporters through social media, but definitely now, whenever I think as players want to give content out of like, game day and stuff like that, and to get them involved, because obviously it's harder to do now. So I think that's something that I think as players, we're trying to do to kind of provide a little bit more connection via virtually or online, as opposed to, obviously they can't do it at the game. So, but yeah, we feel the love. We always feel the love. So we're always thankful for that.
Obviously, you guys have been really solid on the road, since you've gotten back to in market, and that seems to be kind of a league-wide thing right now. Is that teams have actually done pretty well going on the road. There were a lot of conversations about with the same-day travel, how would that affect guys? It doesn't seem to be affecting teams too negatively thus far. Maybe as we get deeper into the calendar year and the schedule, maybe a little bit of that physical toll kind of starts to play a factor. But with no fans in the stands, how much do you think that is a little bit of an equalizing factor when you go on the road, when you're not necessarily dealing with, going into an away environment, quote unquote?
Right. I think that's, with no fans, it definitely doesn't, the edge of a home field advantage kind of goes away. But also, I just think that because it's such a shortened season, I think that the teams realize that how valuable, your away games are as much as your home games, although we need to turn that around because we need to get some results here at home. But yeah, when you go, especially I think for us, when we've been going on the road, it's been off the back of, not a good performance at home, or, needing to go out and get some points. And so I think our road mentality has been really, really good. It's something that is going to help us, that we need to flip it and bring it back home with us. But yeah, without fans at home, it's like an edge for the away team, kind of, because when we're at home and we have our fans cheering for us and the atmosphere, and you can kind of feel the momentum in the stadium, it's a big plus at home.
You do get a chance to bring it back home this weekend. You've got New York City FC at home again on Saturday, just 17 days between hosting New York City at Gillette and then hosting them again at Gillette. And I know you guys, going into this full week off, this really rare full week of no games, you're coming off, unfortunately, a heartbreaking loss in stoppage time at Philadelphia. So how much, as you have a week to train, does a result like that kind of sit with you, and how much does that end up kind of pushing you through the week as you get another opportunity on Saturday against New York City FC? Yeah,
I think we didn't like how that game ended. I think great effort from everybody, and just 4 or 5 plays that could have been made in the last 20 seconds to avoid, get a point on the road after going down a man would have been huge. And we know that. And I think one of the biggest things for us is that against New York City FC, I think even Red Bulls, and the game before that, which was DC, where we won, our effort was it could have been better. It should have been better. Our fight should have been better, and that's something that that has to be good throughout, no matter how well or how bad we're playing. And that dropped. And I think the last time we played New York City FC, it wasn't good enough. I think I watched the interviews and stuff. Like, we got out battled, that kind of stuff, and that's something that we're we're ready to take on Saturday. It's something that we can't let happen at home, especially if we get another chance at another crack at it against the same team. And I think the boys are gonna be ready. If the boys aren't ready, you better believe it's not gonna go down well. So we better be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, and you're getting some new faces integrated as well. Your personnel will actually even look a little bit different than it did the last time you faced New York City FC, because last week you brought in Nguyen, a familiar face, somewhat familiar face for a lot of guys on this team. I know Elizabeth was interviewing Kellen Rowe yesterday and asked him what his reaction was when Lee came back, and he said, "No way." What was your reaction when you were initially told Nguyen's coming back to the Revolution?
What? No, I mean, I did the same thing when I saw Kellen's resign, came back. I said, "No way."
That's what he said.
Yeah. No, I was like, he's going to be a player that's going to help us. I think, well, Bruce was like, gave us a meeting. Was like, we got a new player coming. And I was like, oh, who is it going to be? He's like, oh, we got Nguyen coming from. And I said, oh, snap. Okay. But no, as obviously the fans can see how much he helped us. Even the little spell of time he had in the last game, he's a player that can break the lines, can create for our attacking players. I think he can create even more chances for scoring, and can keep the ball. Good possession player, technically really, really good. And I think probably has a chip on his shoulder from the past couple of years. Probably wants to be playing more, and so he's been doing so well in practice, combining with those guys. And we'll see what happens on Saturday. But I hope he can make an impact for us, and as he has been doing well in practice. And yeah, I think he's a player that can help a lot.
Andrew, you mentioned the whole when you found out about Nguyen coming back. Was there at any point between Nguyen and Kellen Rowe coming back that you or any of your teammates thought it was a prank? Because familiar faces coming back, and was there just a moment where you guys were like, "This is"? I was
like, "There's no way this is happening." Well, Kellen signed was like all season, right? He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, December. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I was probably at home, but Kellen didn't when Kellen was gonna leave, he didn't text me he was leaving, so I was like, okay, whatever. So long, buddy. And I didn't even know he was coming back, so he didn't give me a shout that he was coming back. So we'll have to talk to him about that one. But yeah, I think they're great players. I mean, I think Bruce has shown in the past he likes veteran guys who can come in and contribute and he brings in guys who can make an impact, and I think both those guys can do that for us. But yeah, when I saw the Kellen, I was like, oh, dang, he's coming back. And then Lee, I was like, well, bring the whole gang back. Might as well just bring everybody back. So no, but I think it's good. They're great guys. Good for a locker room and good on the field. So
you mentioned the locker room with regards to veterans on the team. Since those guys left and came back, how do they kind of fall back into the ranks? Because you're clearly above them because you've been with the Revs for so many consecutive years. But yeah. I just kind of wonder how they fit back into the mix that wise.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. You don't want to disturb the locker room. I think Bruce kind of see how he would fit in and stuff like that. But we have a very, I think our locker room is very tight. Obviously, there's the young guys hang out with each other. The guys with families and kids hang out together, and then everybody else in between just hangs out together. But I think everybody is open, and there's not necessarily the rookies can't do anything and the veterans have all the say. And I think we're just, I don't know, it's a good group. So we're always welcome to everybody to come in and be a part of what we got building. And yeah, I mean, Kellen's definitely not, he's not a veteran. I think he tried to come back in thinking he played it for 7 years or 6 years and then come back. It resets, buddy. I told him it resets. This is year one. You're still a veteran player, but you're a rookie, so you gotta earn your stripes.
That's great. I love that.
For Kellen, but Lee's fine. He can do whatever. But Kellen, he needs to earn his spot.
I was gonna say, because otherwise Kellen was drafted in 2012. He actually would have had a year on you.
I know.
Which doesn't really feel right.
Nah.
But he'd have had a year on you.
Yeah. Unlucky. Shouldn't have left.
You mentioned some of the new faces coming in, obviously, since early July. Matt Polster coming in, Tommy McNamara, Kakutamana, you've mentioned. And you mentioned kind of bringing guys in at this point in the season, how seamlessly guys have to kind of fit in when you come in mid-year, especially under the circumstances. You have to kind of fit in right away. And I thought what was pretty different than anything we've had happen in years past is the day that we traded for Kekuta Mane and Tommy McNamara, so many people in the front office started getting messages about what great people these guys were and how lucky we were to be getting these guys. So when you look at Kekuta and Tommy and Matt Polster, how seamlessly have those guys fit into the locker room, not only with what they bring this team on the field, but the personalities, and how important is that?
Yeah. No, they're all terrible. No, I'm just kidding. They're great. They've all fit in really well. And I think they all wanted to be here. They all wanted to play for Bruce. I know Kekuta. My mom, I think Kekuta might be her favorite player. She likes me, but she's always loved Kekuta. We kind of knew each other through the draft, so it's surprising that I didn't know he was the 4th pick. I should have probably known. My mom probably knew that. But they've always come in and work and have fun and compete. And obviously Tommy had the assist and he's played. Kakuta's still waiting, but he'll get his shot. And Matt's been really, really good for us as well. So I think the biggest thing when you come into a new team is just being able to be open-minded, and it's going to be different than where you were before. And obviously I've never experienced having to go to a new team, but I feel like every coaching change has been a new team. Everything has been kind of new. And so you just got to be willing to work, keep an open mind, and those guys have done that, and they're great. They are great people. All 3 of them are. I was just kidding about that earlier. They are really good for the locker room, and they seem to be enjoying. I don't know. They're always smiling, so they seem to be enjoying it. I could be wrong, and they might hate me because I'm always loud and telling lame jokes, but for the most part, it seems like they like me and the team.
Yeah. They all told me they don't like you, which is why I brought it up. This isn't actually an intervention.
They also told me your jokes are lame, so I'm glad you acknowledge that.
We're gonna pop up here. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and let bring into the chat.
Yeah.
This is a question we had because we had Tommy McNamara on the show last week, and it's a question I asked him, and he didn't really bite. He said he didn't really have any answers, but I'm interested to know: have you ever had any players throughout the league who and I don't necessarily need names, but names would be great. Guys who you almost had like a preconceived notion of, having played against them, you thought a certain way about them, and then either you played in an all-star game with them or they became your teammate and they were totally different than kind of the perception that you had of them as an opponent?
That's a good question. I mean, Tommy's like cool. I like Tommy a lot, and I didn't know what I thought of him before, but I really enjoy him. Like, he's a really good guy. I knew Kekuta from the draft, so he's the exact same what I thought he would be. I'm trying to think I don't know. I think Matt Polster, I thought he was like a little chatty. Like he does the same thing. He talks trash all the time, and that's how he was with Chicago. So I knew he was gonna be like that. But we're semi-friendly now. No, we're on good terms. And I'm trying to think of who else would it be. I mean, I didn't like Kellen when he was away, but now he's okay.
Yes, and I feel like throughout the course of a career, there's probably some guys play against that it's like some like tough tackling midfielder who just like, God, I hate that guy. And then you end up being teammates with him and you're like, oh, actually, I really like this guy.
Yeah. I'm sure there are some guys I'm like, I wonder how they are.
Yeah.
Like in the league. But I'm sure, I don't know.
Speaking of, teammates, becoming former teammates, playing against former teammates. Obviously, you guys played against Chicago a couple weeks ago, and Bobby Shuttleworth was in goal, who you played alongside for so long. And I know you guys traded jerseys at the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
Is that rare for you to trade with a keeper? How many keepers have you ever traded jerseys?
One. Just Bobby.
Just Bobby? That was the first one?
First one ever, yeah.
Check it off the list.
Check off the list. No more goalies, except, no more goalies. No more.
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere else and not the chairs.
You don't want any goalkeeper jerseys?
Maybe Turner if I leave or if he leaves, I don't even know. But if whenever he's done playing, whenever I'm done, I'll probably be done playing before he's done playing. So maybe Turner's at some point.
I'm interested to know the process of trading jerseys because it's like, is it a matter of do you go into a game thinking of a certain guy you want to trade with? Does it happen during the game sometimes? Have you ever been nervous to go up to a guy and be like, is this guy going to like turn me down and not want to
Right.
trade jerseys with me?
I usually don't go for like Diego always goes for, like those guys like Nani or like I don't care about like I'll just buy your jersey, like
Yeah.
I want guys who I've either played against or played with or guys. So I have all like former U of L guys, former teammates. We just just homie. I like the homie jerseys, like my buddies. So that's why I like to collect, and so I wanted to get Bobby's.
That's
So
awesome.
you've never had that situation where you go up to a guy and you're like, you do like the jersey thing, and he's like, nah.
Oh, I told him first, but no.
Yeah. But I feel like that's the move. Be like, they told me I couldn't trade, or I already told that guy I'd trade.
Yeah, I feel like it would happen to me. Like, can I trade him? Be like he just like gave it to me. He wouldn't want mine, Oh, that would be so embarrassing. So I haven't done that. I don't put myself in that situation.
I imagine that could be nerve wracking. I don't think I could put myself out there like that.
No, 100% no.
I'll mention too, because you brought up Matt Turner. I mean, this seems like it happened so quickly from my perspective of Matt Turner going from third string goalkeeper who was like the guy who used to go to all our charity events because he was always available to all of a sudden being not only the Revolution starter, but a guy who you're expecting to be called into every U.S. national team camp and who is kind of universally looked at now as one of the top goalkeepers in Major League Soccer. And you've been close with him throughout this process. Just what's it been like for you seeing this continued rise of Matt Turner over the course of the past couple of years?
It's been great to see. He's I say he's a humble guy, but no, he's pretty humble. He just loves to be good. He just loves to be good at what he does, and he works hard at it. He's always focused. He's always trying to improve. He's always asking what he can do better, communicating with us. I think he's done a really good job with his coach, Kevin Hitchcock, to get better and better, and with help from Brad and Jeff, and all the goalies help each other. They call it GK Union. They always pushing each other to be better. But it's been good to see. It's he's someone who's easy. It's easy to root for. He's just a goob. He's just a goofy kid, winky, weird, big oaf. The BFG, big friendly giant. That's what I call him.
Yes.
But he it's great to see how good he has become. But it's like the ceiling. It's just like he's gonna keep on getting better and better. And yeah, I'm always excited to see national team call-ups. All the love he gets on the social medias, and I'd say top three keeper, top two keeper, and he's not 2 or 3. For me, he's the best in the league. But everybody has their own opinions. But he just keeps on getting better and better every day, and makes our team way better. So glad to see it.
I loved your tweets when he got called up to the national team, and you just went full out on social media. That's a true friend there.
I was so hyped. I was so excited about that. It was awesome. Yeah.
That'll be the headline though for this podcast. It'll be like Andrew Farrell joins the Far Post podcast. Says Matt Turner is lanky and weird, because that's going to bring in the viewers.
That's going to bring in the viewers.
That's going to suck them in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start to wrap up here, but we do have this game Saturday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. kickoff against New York City FC. You mentioned taking advantage of opportunities at home. And I know it's a little bit different now because without the fans, home games, road games, there's not so much of a separation between the two. But Bruce Arena has talked about needing to take advantage of these opportunities at home. So you've got home games Saturday, Wednesday. How's the team looking at this opportunity to get yourself, coming off that Philly result, 2 opportunities at home to really kind of get yourself set?
Yeah, I mean, we got to take the max points at home right now with these 3 games. I think playing against a team that we played against a week, it was 17 days.
Yeah, it'll be 17 days between games.
So almost a fortnight, right? Or no, is that
a little more than a fortnight?
No, more than a fortnight. A little more than a fortnight.
3 extra days.
Yeah. It's a team that we didn't show well against, so it's opportunity for guys who either play in that game or who didn't play, watch the tape, wasn't pretty, but we know what we need to do to play against. And they're a great team. Give them credit. They're a really, really good team. But if we can play up to our potential, we can, be in the game with them. So that's really important. And again, a game against Montreal, a team that we played against, they beat us and we beat them down in Orlando. I'm pretty sure I didn't play, but I'm pretty sure we won that game. So a team that, we're familiar with, and we need to take maximum points. So I think that's where the mentality is, but obviously focus is on New York CFC and the rematch. Yeah.
And you guys just played 6 games over the course of about 23 days, and then you got a little bit, as we mentioned, like a little bit of a break. We call it a break. You got 1 week between games, which would normally be the normal break between every game pretty much. But now you're heading into this stretch where I don't know if there's going to be another opportunity to have a week between games. Right. You're going to have 12 games coming up in the span of 51 days. It's a game every 4.25 days or so. So what is it going to take for a group to kind of grind through 50 days where you're going to be playing games every 4 days?
It's going to take everybody. I mean, it's going to take rotation at some point. It's going to take guys stepping up, guys like Tajon, guys who haven't maybe gotten minutes, who are now, you got to step up. You got to, help the team out, whatever you can do. And if we get performances like that from Tajon and guys who might not always be starting, but might get their name called and might have to start a game and might have to, then we'll be in a good spot. If we play consistently well and bring that effort. And that's it's going to take that, guys staying healthy, and having fun and winning. A lot of winning.
Andrew, with all of these upcoming games, travel obviously remains regional. Do any sort of rivalries get a little bit more heated now that you're playing each other so many more times?
Yeah, I don't there are. I'm not going to go. But yeah, there's some teams that I would love to play again soon. Hopefully we'll play them soon.
Sure, we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that matchup against
I'll
whoever
let you know
it is.
after.
All right, sounds like a plan.
After you beat them, you can let us know that's who you wanted to beat.
Exactly.
Well, Andrew, we really appreciate you taking the time. Best of luck on Saturday at 4:30. We'll reiterate 4:30 kickoff on Saturday against New York City FC. Thanks so much for taking the time, and congratulations on 20,000 minutes. We'll have you back on when you hit 50,000. You hit 50,000, we'll have you back on the show.
I don't know about 50,000, Jeff. Come on, Jeff.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon on the Far Post Podcast.
Adios.